Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Previously, we began the 4th case in this game, and it is a blast to the past. This is, at long last, Miles Edgeworth's first day as a prosecutor. Or rather, it would have been if the prosecutor he was about to replace and the defendant weren't murdered. So now we're here with past Gumshoe and Franziska, the former of which Miles has met for the first time, as well as a few other colorful characters like Manfred von Karma, Callisto Yu, and the hard-boiled, it was something bad. I forget his first name. It was just on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, let's get ahead and start exploring this room, probably starting with dialogue. Yeah, pal? So, tell me about the investigation. I'm so excited, pal. This is my first real crime scene. Let's get investigating. Oh my god, it's everyone's origin, isn't it? Detective Gumshoe. I thought investigations were supposed to be conducted in a calm, collected manner. What do you know about how to run an investigation, little boy prosecutor? This is how it started, isn't it? I know that at the very least I have a greater grasp than you of what happened here. Why, you don't know any more than me, pal. Look, you just stay behind me, boy, and get out of the way. Ironic, coming from the guy that's been a step behind me the entire case. This is my first time setting foot inside the courthouse. Who would have thought it'd be for my first case as a detective? But you know, I get the feeling I'll be coming here a lot more in the future. Yeah, better get used to making confetti. As a suspect, detective? Of course not, pal. Anyway, this lobby's actually pretty luxurious. I mean, for a defendant's lobby, it's got a pretty big TV. Oh, and there's that tea set on the table over there. Bet you didn't know that I like to drink tea. Wow, this room is really decked out. If it means spending time in here, maybe being a suspect isn't such a bad thing after all. I'm beginning to suspect that leaving this detective in charge of anything might be bad. But he is right, this room is rather well furnished. And somewhere in this room, the truth is slumbering. It's time to find it and give it a wake-up call. So, Detective Gumshoe. Yeah? What is it, boy? It's so weird to see Gumshoe call him that. God. Of all the people to call me that, this detective is by far the least qualified. I wanted to ask you about how the investigation is proceeding. See for yourself, pal. Oh, do I do a great detective bad or what? Yo! New lore? Do they make it so that this entire time, every time Gumshoe calls someone pal, he's imitating Detective Bad? Really? That's adorable, I love it. Has this man not a professional bone in his body? Very well. Then I will inspect the victims' bodies myself. But first... Hey, so that's a prosecutor's badge, huh? You mentioned that you've only recently become a detective, did you not? You got it. I'm a brand spanking new detective. So that means you've probably never seen a real prosecutor's badge, right? Wait, I think we just saw this. Or not, it's not letting me skip, okay. If you so happen to want to take a look, I just might be able to make your day. You don't have to go through the trouble, pal, because a real man has a police badge. And someday, I'm gonna become an ace detective, just like Detective Bad. Did I say something wrong, pal? Let's return to the investigation, detective. Yeah, we definitely saw that. Okay, how about you, Franny? I see. Did you figure something out? This is a competition, Miles, and as such, I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk to me. As you wish. Oh, okay. How about you? You're taking notes in the corner. Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case? Faraday and Rel. Looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right. And what would they be? Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy? What? Now I've been downgraded to just boy? There's a breeze. The curtain is moving. The window's open, but there are cells. The window is open, and there's a fresh flowery scent in the air. Ugh, the flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly. I've never heard a flower described as gross and ghastly. Except maybe a rafflesia, but I sincerely doubt they're growing rafflesias here. Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change? Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor. Oh, we're on the 3rd floor. That's right. Okay. I was gonna say maybe someone, like, fired a weapon through the window, but if it is on the 3rd floor, they'd have to climb. Like, look, I wouldn't put that past Mr. or Junior Faraday, but I doubt either of them are the killers, so... Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows? Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. A bag. There's some stuff in the bag, pal. I suppose this was Mr. Faraday's bag. It's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him. This is the evidence? Oh, I'd better not touch it. I'll leave prints on it. Do you just not pay attention to anything you do? Is that a plate or paper? Oh, there's some plastic bags stacked on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance. Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. If there was a struggle, it didn't happen near here. Maybe they were super quiet in their scuffle? After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know? Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off. Okay, we just saw this. Same dialogue. A plant. This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around it. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. Okay, best for last. Well, there's the plastic bags. One is either covered in blood or it has blood in it, but... It looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rel. Curious. Faraday's holding a gun, and his finger is indeed around the trigger. But I would think that the person who would be shot would fall first, maybe. Like, well, I guess the stabbing could happen first, then the God, there's really just no way to know what happened, is there? There's blood on the knife. Is it just me or is it not? Hard to tell if that blood is fresh or not. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. However, using logic, the only logical conclusion is... Aha! What was that outburst for? My detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rell that fell first, see? You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. Okay. Oh. Yeah, the blood on the knife does look darker. Let's start with this. Looks like Mr. Rell died with a knife in his hand. There's some blood stuck on it. Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yup, no doubt about it. I have many doubts. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot some notes down about it. Okay, let's take a look. See if we can't crack this open. Okay. Well, we can't take a closer look. I don't know about the dried blood, though, if it's dry or not. How about this bloody bag? Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, Detective. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Normally I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? All are empty, except for one. Look at the gun. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So he shot Mr. Rell, and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun. I guess that does seem kinda strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one. I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. It sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. Okay. It does look kinda cool, yeah. It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Mr. Faraday. How ironic it is for him to lose his life in a courthouse. Yeah, why did it have to be like this? I don't know what to say. I can't believe this happened while I was on watch, pal. Rather than beating yourself up, you should spend your time continuing the investigation. Didn't you become a detective in order to solve crimes? Yeah. Then get back to work. Find out the cause of his murder. Right, I'm on it, pal. As for Rell. First he killed a Cadopian embassy staff member. Then he was murdered himself. This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know. Oh? What makes you say that? Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two. Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Deadman. Hey, good point, pal. I knew my detective's intuition was telling me something. Detective's intuition? Yup. Do you know about it? It's a special feeling that all We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation. Okay. I wish I could see exactly what their wounds are. There's no blood under either of them. That's super conspicuous to me. Like, there's no blood. And until I figure out what their wounds are, I'm just starting to doubt that either of them died from gunshot or knife wound. Like, who knows, maybe someone wafted poison in through the window. Okay, well, I think that's everything. Let's take a closer look at the gun. Okay, well... Gumshoe might know about guns. Let's ask him about it. Present the gun. Eek! Hey, pal, I'd appreciate it if you didn't point that thing at me, okay? Don't get cheeky with me, detective. I simply wish to show it to you. And? You got a point in showing it to me? Because I don't even have a single penny on me, so you're out of luck, pal. Well, that was an unusual reaction to being shown a piece of evidence. Okay, I should have expected as much. That knife is one of the murder weapons, right? Yes, it is the weapon that took Mr. Faraday's life. Are we sure about that? There's blood stuck on the blade and it's still fresh. Okay, it is fresh. Huh. You're in the homicide division, correct? You'll be seeing a lot more blood. Even if it's not your cup of tea, you might as well get used to it. But the sight of blood isn't something I want to get used to. Don't think of it as seeing blood, but rather as a representation of the killer. If viewed in that sense, you begin to see how the killer operates. You're right, pal. Thanks for the fresh perspective. I feel so much better now. I'm glad someone does. Well, okay. Let's give logic a shot. Maybe there is something we can connect. Okay. The plastic bags on the table are undisturbed. Yet there are plastic bags on the floor. Well, there's definitely a connection by virtue of there being plastic bags in both, but let's see if Miles can't get something out of it. There's a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table. Oh man. Here I was today thinking my cough might be fully gone, but no, there's just a tiny shred of it left. And yet, a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's unlikely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle. In which case, might there not be another explanation as to how they got there? Another reason? I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. It is on the outside. Ugh, please get that blood away from me, pal. Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag? Hold on, let me ask the lab guy. Alright, please hurry. Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either. So it was an empty bag from the start, maybe? Huh. It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. Okay, if you say so, I leave it in your hands, pal. Okay. Well, no more connections to be made. But maybe there's contradictions. I can't imagine how the scent or the open window could contradict the body pile. Let's have a closer look. Faraday's blood is on it. This blood here is from Mr. Faraday, but there are no other clues to be found. Which begs the question, do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve it as evidence? It's bags all the way down. Well, okay. Let's see if we can't talk to Mr. Photographer. No. And what's more, we can't look at what's behind the window. Well, behind the curtains, I mean. Ah. Okay. Okay, nothing new with Franny. Tyrell, is that your name? Tyrell? Tyrell Bad? Whoa! What is the Detective Gumshoe? Oh my god, I never looked at the TV. My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal. Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one. Oh, let me see here. Wow, this thing is huge. Wah! And way too noisy. You're the noisy one, Scruffy. Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprints all over it. But I didn't touch it. Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. The foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. Well, I guess it's broken now. The TV has been left on. Why are you looking at me like that? It wasn't me. I didn't touch anything. Gumshoe, you do know what will happen to you if you touch something again. Right? I can't settle on a voice for this guy. I won't touch anything. I won't even go anywhere near the TV, sir. And you, get back to your investigation, alright? I was planning to do so anyway. Oh. Okay, I think he's actually willing to talk. Faraday and Rel. Looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right. What would they be? Oh. No, we saw this. Okay. Can we take a peek in the bag yet? Uh-huh. Well, what we can do is see if anything contradicts with this, but no, how could anything contradict? Okay, Gumshoe, do you have any ideas? Talk to him about the plastic bag directly? No, this is just generic. Crap. Did we ever present, his own testimony to him? Other than a single gunshot, didn't hear a sign of the struggle. That's the whole truth there, pal. I swear. So, you were guarding the door to lobby number 2 at the time of the crime, correct? Yeah, that's right. And I'll have you know, not even a single ant got by me. Really? Are you sure that not even a single ant slipped in? Oh, well, guess if we're talking about slipped in, then maybe a frog or something did. It would appear that my point also completely slipped you by, Detective. Maybe we can contradict the testimony with the scene? It looks like this sofa is ready to be disposed of. Ah, crap. Sorry about my COVID cough. It's so soft. I could sleep for all 25 hours of the day on this thing. Either this is Gumshoe just being a really particularly idiotic idiot, or this is the spiciest lore drop about this world I have ever seen. If only I could dispose of him. Okay, yeah, he's being an idiot. He's just being an idiot. I'm glad I saw that. That was great. Well, guess we have to find a contradiction. Is there anything about how this gun looks like it's been fired or something? Crap. Well, Wait, can I don't even have the button option for contradicting, do I? Oh. Wait, what's it? Is there something under his hand? His left hand. Ooh, I thought I might have missed this. His hand is all black down here, see? Wonder what it could be. If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain. Oh. An ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen. Well, for that to be the case, Mr. Faraday here would have to be left-handed, or ambidextrous, but an ambidextrous person would always choose to write with a right hand, because writing with your left gets ink all over it. Like, you write left to right, you know? A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you aren't just making it up, pal? Oh, thank God it's taking me elsewhere. Okay. Mr. Rell's cause of death was from being shot, correct? That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down. Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth. Are you sure they were trying to hide something? I can't confirm Mr. Rell's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible. What's this? You're not able to form a theory with them the way they are? I believe an examination of all of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you? I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it. Labby. Oh, lab, okay. Labby. Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir. And there you have it. Do you not approve? Of course not. What? Investigation of a crime scene is a work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will ya? Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir. Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. The truth revealed. Man, it's not often we look directly at two bodies in this franchise, man. Okay. What is this on his label? There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. Aha. An especially nice nib. Nice. Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bad is always telling me. You should always write your name on everything you own.
Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. And it looks like a cut. But that's... Why would a cut there be fatal?
There's a knife wound in his chest here, see?
I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell is holding.
Labby.
Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir. I imagine the Labby's super nervous around Mr. Bad.
Make it quick.
From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Okay. Mr. Faraday. How ironic is it for him to lose his life in a courthouse? We saw this. Mr. Faraday is holding a gun in his right hand.
That's the one Mr. Rell got blown away by, right? Labby, your answer.
Yes, sir. We found that the ballistic markings do match that gun.
Oh, ballistic markings are
the figurative fingerprints of a gun leaves on a bullet when fired. Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings on a bullet, you can tell which gun it came from.
Yeah, that's it. Of course, I already knew all about that, pal. Maybe you'd better off going back to the academy. Eek! Come on, sir. Cut me some slack, will ya?
So the bullet that was fired from this gun is what fell to Mr. Rell. It looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with this knife that Mr. Rell was holding.
Youch!
What's wrong, Detective?
My stomach started to hurt from just thinking about being stabbed.
Just keep your mind on the case, alright? Bullet hole. Shot in the chest.
It takes some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet.
There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean...
Wait, burn marks?
A round grows very hot as it is discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away.
Well, that is the most curious thing about this. That must mean that Faraday fired his gun after being stabbed, if the situation is to be believed. You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal.
Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. Let us now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case. Not what I would have picked.
What a crazy way to go.
Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Anything new with Gumshoe? No. I see. Did you figure something out? This is a competition, Miles.
Okay, yeah.
Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case?
Okay. I want new dialogue from them so bad.
Well, I need new logic.
Ah. Yeah, the ink must have come from his fountain pen. So absolutely connect those.
That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen.
Oh, let's ask the lab guy.
Detective Gumshoe, I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen.
I see. Good work. Oh, you know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life.
If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed.
Yes.
It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well.
Okay, if you say so, pal. I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other.
No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there is actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility.
No way, pal. Really?
I suppose I'll just have to show it in to show you the conflict in this crime scene.
It's his hand.
Okay, we'll take his hand holding the gun.
And say he's left-handed. Wait, how do we do that? Left-handed Faraday. Yes.
Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet, the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting the crime scene.
Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kinda strange. But how could something like that happen?
The facts add up to one conclusion, and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Yes.
Someone else?
Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. Oh yeah, flawless victory.
Here's an autopsy report.
It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting. Instant death from the stab?
Like, even if it was directly on the heart, which it isn't, I would think you would at least twitch for a bit, you know? You wouldn't just fall over.
It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case. Are you sure we know everything? Of course, the incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There is absolutely no margin for doubt. Do you really believe that to be the truth? Huh, are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? Ugh. It's all right. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is. Don't worry, I will. God, she looks so young. Man. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. And Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Yeah, no, I don't buy it. There's no scorch marks on Rell's clothes, so if this is true and Faraday shot first, he would have all the time in the world to put another bullet in him while the distance was crossed, you know? Like Faraday would have so much time to see Rell going for the knife. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. Right, let's do it. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. Do you truly believe that Mr. Faraday died instantaneously? I have the murder report right here. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously of shock due to being stabbed in the chest. There, you see? It's been documented, clear as day. Ugh. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell before he died. Do you have any basis for that statement? Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now, I hate to repeat myself, however. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. That's all the basis I need. Alright, so if Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, then he must have attacked Mr. Rell before being stabbed. You're finally beginning to catch on, I see. And Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. So you believe that the dying Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday? Mr. Rell became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled, and in the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound. Is it, though? Can you really say that it's perfect? What are you insinuating? I love that word so much. People should use it more. Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise, so if you could append that statement to your testimony. Fine. They struggled, and Mr. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. Well, going by the franchise rules, if a testimony is addendumid, if an addendum is testimonied, if it exists, then if new thing there, it the thing you want. So, about this statement. Mr. Rell used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Boy, my lungs do not like doing a high, girly voice right now. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my writing crop can do. Promise? How does one compare the damage her crop can do with the state of this room? Furthermore, all the plastic bags on this floor of this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you? No, that will be fine. Okay. I'm gonna tell you that's impossible. Because the knife was in a bag? Wait, has Faraday's blood on it? No, this is not the bag that had the knife. Well, bullet that killed Rell was fired from a few yards away. Yeah, crap, I'm probably just overthinking it. It's this. It's not that. Okay. Oh no. Okay, maybe the phrasing is wrong. Jumping the gun, as it were. Okay, well, God, the answer must be so obvious for staring at me in the face. Let me read everything once more, from the start. Can I read the autopsy? No, it's not a piece of evidence. Faraday's death was instant. Rell survived for a short time. Therefore, Faraday must have died after he shot Rell. They struggled. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. Maybe I say it's impossible they struggled? Gumshoe's testimony. Do I use this? Didn't hear a sign of a struggle. Because look, it's literally using the word struggle, both here and in that line from Franziska, so maybe it's really as simple as that. Oh, okay. If the two men were fighting, their struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing. Huh, you place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife? Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It is not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point. So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rell took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Isn't there something strange in Franziska's statement just now?
Yeah.
Wait, something doesn't add up. Oh, really? It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed.
Yeah, the... fired from a few yards away. What? Take a closer look?
I'm still not seeing it.
In that case, I'll just have to try and explain it to you.
Objection!
Miles Edgeworth, you should know by now that you can't fool me.
Oh. But...
Mr. Rell grabbed the knife from Mr. Faraday's bag when he wasn't paying attention. Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed by the knife. But it just doesn't add up, and I have the evidence that proves that it doesn't.
Oh, the way their bodies fell? I think that's it.
According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that. Ooh, you got me. Man. But of course. Well then, if the report is correct, then there is only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rell attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rell. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died.
Well, we just went through that, didn't we? We're talking in circles.
Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Franziska. I just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible, before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could. How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Franziska, you've still got a ways to go. What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic? Mr. Faraday died instantly, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. The contradiction here in this crime scene is... well... well, yeah. The bag was on the table. The bodies fell clear on the other side of the room. I was waiting for that to come up. The evidence bag is too far away from the bodies. If the bag that held the weapons was this far from the victims, then neither of the two men could have taken one out without the other noticing.
Objection!
Huh, weren't you the one who just said, perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point?
Oh, okay, yeah. You snuck it out and then waited before launching an attack. That's what she's saying. I don't like how fast my life bar is dropping. Okay. Then it has to be the order the bodies fell, because Mac fell first.
Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled. No! Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday. Impossible! Yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must solve is... No, not so fast, Miles Edgeworth. What now? I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clearer now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent. She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. I'm just going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. Well, I think this is the best shot at us ending things. Yeah, the cleanest place to end. I could imagine we're just right nearly there in beating this cross-examination, or testimony, as it were. And then I have to wonder what's next. Will we really... Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to prove that there was foul play and that the real murderer is somewhere out there on the loose. So I suppose from that point we'll have to check out the entirety of the courthouse. At the very least, the courtyard outside. Man, something's fishy. Something's really, really, really fishy. Like, okay, look, until someone brand new is introduced, like, it literally only could possibly be Callisto U or Tyrell Bad. What was his name? Tyrell? I think it began with a tie. There's an R in there. I think it was Tyrell Bad. It's either one of those two. Like, them's the rules. Like, it literally can't be anyone else, because we know no one else goes to prison. You know? What with this being a flashback and all? So... Huh. I really do hope that someone new is added to this chaos, because... Boy, having just two suspects is kind of lame. Makes things too easy. So... Yeah, I guess there's really nothing else to say other than the fact that, yeah, I'm sorry I got so many things wrong this time. My brain is dedicating a not insignificant portion of its processing power to suppressing my cough in my chest. Like, I'm at the point where when I'm just in a resting state, I feel no compulsion to cough whatsoever. But if I talk, then there's just the slightest irritation in my lungs, just a teensy bit, and it gets worse if I do certain voices, so that's what I'm dealing with now. Give it like another week and I'll probably be 100% back to normal. Can't wait for that. A cough that's lasted over a month. Man, it's not good, dude. Anyway, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Ace Attorney Investigations. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.